Allied forces burned Dresden to the ground in one night, and the world spent decades arguing about whether it was justified. February 13, 1945. The war in Europe was essentially over. Germany was collapsing from both sides, Soviet forces pushing from the east, Allied forces pushing from the west. Dresden was a city famous for its Baroque architecture, its porcelain, its art. It was called the Florence of the Elbe. It had almost no significant military infrastructure. The RAF arrived first, in the middle of the night, with 796 bombers. Their strategy was deliberate and calculated. The first wave dropped explosives specifically designed to blow off rooftops and expose the wooden interior structures of buildings. The second wave came 90 minutes later and dropped incendiaries directly into those exposed interiors. They were not trying to destroy buildings, they were trying to start a fire that could not be stopped. It worked beyond anything the planners had modeled. The individual fires merged into a single firestorm with an internal temperature that reached 1,500 degrees Celsius. The fire generated its own wind system, pulling oxygen inward at hurricane force to feed itself. People who were not burned were suffocated as the firestorm consumed all available oxygen across entire city blocks. Survivors described seeing people spontaneously combust in the streets. Others were found perfectly preserved, sitting in their shelters, killed instantly by the vacuum pressure and heat before the flames even reached them. The American bombers arrived the following morning to hit anything still standing. The death toll has been disputed for decades. Early estimates reached 300,000, which were later used heavily by Nazi propaganda. Modern historical consensus sits somewhere between 22,000 and 25,000. Still a devastating number for a single night. The controversy never fully resolved itself. Dresden had rail yards that were genuinely used for military logistics. It was sheltering hundreds of thousands of refugees fleeing the Soviet advance. The timing, 11 weeks before German surrender, made the military necessity argument increasingly difficult to defend. Kurt Vonnegut survived Dresden as an American prisoner of war, sheltering in a meat locker underground. He spent the next 23 years trying to write about what he saw when he came out. He said the city looked like the surface of the moon, and that there was nothing intelligent.